Andersonville Prison Camp, also known as Camp Sumter, was a Confederate prison camp during the Civil War. In the 14 months it was in operation, over 45,000 Union soldiers were held there, and of them 13,000 died. Camp Sumter is notorious for being the largest prison camp during the Civil War. It held more people at any given time than any other camp. Captain Henry Wurz oversaw operations at Andersonville. He was later arrested and executed on charges of treason and cruelty by a military commission. Today, there are over 12,912 graves in Andersonville Cemetery, but many historians believe the death toll was actually much higher.
I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real.
13,000 prisoners of war died from disease, poor sanitation, malnutrition, overcrowding, or exposure to the elements in Andersonville. There is so much filth about the camp that it is terrible trying to live here, says a prisoner from Michigan named John Ransom. The men look sickening, says the cavalryman. Since the day I was born, I never saw such misery.
You stay the hell away from me, you hear?
I wear this crown of thorns.
What was your greatest obstacle to overcome in order to survive?
My greatest obstacle was definitely disease and poor diet. Many men came down with typhoid infection or gangrene due to the unsanitary conditions.
How were the men that weren't as lucky as you put to rest?
Many of my fellow soldiers were put to rest in mass graves with no identification or memorial services.
How were the conditions as the Union pulled ahead in the war?
The conditions became much worse as a last-ditch effort to win. The Union would put to death many of the
Jesus, if you hear my last breath, don't leave me here.
Typhoid fever causes diarrhea and a rash, caused most commonly by salmonella. It is spread by ingesting food contaminated with the feces of an infected person.
All my troubles, all my pain will leave me.
Gangrene is the decomposition of body tissue due to poor circulation or bacterial infection. It is fatal.
Jesus, I don't want to die alone.
The slaves and Confederate soldiers constructed a stockade of heavy upright timbers enclosing a field of approximately 16 acres, which was the foundation of Andersonville Prison Camp. When the prisoners died, trenches 3 feet wide and 200 feet long accommodated hundreds of bodies laid shoulder to shoulder.
Left to die a lonely death, I know I have sinned upon my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts.
When were you born?
I was born November 25th, 1823, in Zurich, Switzerland.
Why did you come to America?
I came to America at the age of 26 because my marriage failed and I fell into some financial trouble. I settled in Louisiana, that's why I picked up this accent.
When were you sent to Andersonville?
I was sent to Andersonville about 1864, I believe it was.
How do you feel about what you have done and how many men you have killed?
I mean, I feel like it was for the greater good of the Confederacy and the advancement of the Army. I'm not proud of it, but I'd do it again.
Everyone I know goes away in the air.
At the end of the Civil War, he was the only Confederate soldier remaining at Andersonville. He was arrested on May 7, 1865. Henry Wurz was hanged November 10, 1865. The last thing he did in his cell was write a letter to his wife.
Try to kill it all away. but I remember everything.
Wurz stood little chance of a fair trial. A military tribunal tried him for conspiracy with Jefferson Davis. Wurz was convicted on all counts and sentenced to a public execution.
For the Confederacy!
I would keep myself. I would find a way.